Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of If This Car Could Talk. It's great to have you with us. We're excited to bring you what we think is one of the best examples of an ultra high-performance Mopar e-body muscle car, found right here in the Phoenix area. Owner Al Meehan has been a serious Dodge and Plymouth enthusiast as long as he can remember. He always wanted a Hemi-powered e-body, but never found the right one. Whenever he did, it was priced into the stratosphere, so Al decided to build his own. As you'll see, he did a fantastic job. Listen to Al's story as he tells you about the long process to finally transform this Hemi car into what it is today. Now, let's go for a ride.
Shake her hood, actually, the shaking.
With the Tremec 5-speed, 2300 is about 70 miles an hour, so it works even with a 354 rear end, so it works really, really well. First gear is super deep, you just about don't need it. So it's a nice close ratio 4-speed, and then it's got a 5th row overdrive. For if you really want to run it down the highway, you can. I wouldn't be afraid to drive this car to either coast, except for the gas, of course. It's got a 4150 Series 950 Holly on it that is not bashful about gas consumption.
Passes everything but a gas station.
That's about right. Hi, my name is Al Meehan, and this is my 71 Hemi Cuda. We live here in beautiful sunny Fountain Hills, Arizona. We also have a place in Minnesota, and we just bought one out in the Black Hills of South Dakota. So anyway, this car is a dream car of mine. I've wanted forever. I actually wanted a 70 Hemi Cuda, but the 71s I like a little better. And this car did not start life as a Cuda. It started life as a Barracuda. And it was a beautiful shade of UPS brown with a 360 in it and an automatic that somebody had hacked into it. I took it all apart down to the absolute bare bones and started over. I put a 472 crate Hemi in it, which is a variant of the 426 with a little longer stroke. It makes about 60 more horse for 525 horse. I put a Tremec 5-speed in it. And while drag racing it one weekend with my buddies out in Thunder Valley, Marion, South Dakota, we cooked the rear end out of it, so I put a Strange S60 rear end in it. It's got a pistol grip for a shifter. It's got a steering wheel out of a 70 Cuda in it, the rim blow wheel. And otherwise, I tried to put this car together with as bone stock of parts as I could. Pulled the fenders off, had the gills punched in it by a place in Iowa. And I replaced or put the gill pieces in were actual OEM parts. The Hemi Cuda on the shakers OEM, the shakers OEM, all of this stuff. I tried to do as much OEM pieces as possible. I don't know why, but I did. It cost me a lot more, but I ended up with, I think, a pretty good product. It's, a lot of people think of these cars as clone cars, which they are, but I've got several other numbers matching real deal Mopars, and I put this one together so I could have some fun with it. And you could put all the rest of those cars in a bag, and I wouldn't trade you for this one. Yeah, sure.
How long's it been done?
2006, we put it together. I had some buddies from South Dakota, high school buddies, come up and help me put the engine in it. And it got painted in South Dakota once, and then it got repainted in Minnesota once. And yeah, I chose Sassy grass green as the color. I just love the high impact colors that Mopar had back in the day. I didn't put the rally dash in it. I left the stock standard Barracuda dash in it, just because it's a little more unusual. Yeah, but it's been a fun car, and it turns heads everywhere it goes, and we win all kinds of awards with it. It's just a really fun car to have.
Video.
Yeah.
All right. Oh darn, I have to ride in it.
Yeah, darn. And the only thing unusual in here, I guess, is that it's a 472 Hemi that when you look at the engine bay with no engine in there, it was like, oh, how's that going to fit? But the elephant motor went in there just like it was supposed to. Stock radiator, doesn't have the aluminum like a lot of people do. It's, you know, no options other than power steering, and that's it. Like I say, super fun car to have.
It's beautiful. Very nice.
And these little grill pieces, trim pieces, these are each different sized. And those are all OEM out of a friend of mine's salvage yard in Iowa who has a whole pile of Cudas that he parts and sells, and that's where those came from. It took, I kept a list of every single part I bought, what it cost, and where I got it from, and in case I ever want to do it again. It was a fun project to do. I did everything on it except the paint and body. Did that all myself. So it's like I said, I got a lot of pride in this car, and I have had a lot of fun with it. I drive it all the time. Yeah. When I've got a show sign that I had made for it that says "Everyday Hemi" on it. Because when I had the thing up in the cities, I drove it to work all the time. I mean, I put a lot of miles on this thing. We're always driving it. I drive my cars. Even the collectible, I would consider this collectible, but even the numbers matching real deal cars, we drive them.
Yeah. I
have a 70 Roadrunner convertible that I put a trailer hitch on it, and we pulled my Harley out to the Black Hills to the Sturgis Rally with it one year. We burned a lot of gas, and we were sunburnt and half deaf by the time we got there, but we had a lot of fun. But no, we actually drive our cars.
Awesome. Great adventures.
Yeah, that's great adventures. That's right.
The stories.
Uh-huh.
Very cool.
I think if I actually measured the gas mileage, you'd be up at 8. if we got that.
Don't worry.
That's right.
Who cares?
That's right. Gas. I put an electric fuel pump in it because I had this buddy of mine up in the cities. I was on the board of directors for Midwest Mopars for 8 years, and a bunch of the club members would go out to, like I mentioned, the drag racing thing out in Marion, South Dakota. And a buddy of mine and he had a 446 barrel 71 convertible, and we had this match race thing going back and forth about whose car was faster. He always called his car the Hemi Killer. There's no such thing, not with this car. So the first time we raced out there, we match raced, and without the electric fuel pump, I ran out of gas. It burned so much gas it would run out, so I had to put an electric pump on it to augment it.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was able to get it into the low 12s, even this old man, not very good reflex time off the line.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was still pretty good. Really robust car culture. I didn't realize that when we moved here, but there are a lot of cars here in town.
Yeah, that show, the Concourse and the Hills show that
It's just one
when
of the
we
best.
first met you, that thing is just amazing.
Yeah, that's just one of the best shows.
And everybody we talked to, the first timers, loved it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll be back. Yeah.
It was bigger and better than ever this year. Probably.
Probably one of the biggest Mopar lovers you'll ever meet.
Well, there's a lot of us. I didn't always start out being a Mopar guy, though.
No?
No, it was, well, I've had everything. I've had all kinds of cars. Started out with Chevys and mixed in some Fords and had some Oldsmobiles. And a friend of mine, I used to have to pick, I had a Rambler even. Well, I hate to admit that, but I had a friend of mine I used to pick up for school, high school every morning, and across the street a guy, a friend of his, I didn't really know him very well, but it was a friend of his, and he had a 67 GTX. Really liked that car, red and black, red with black stripes, and I have one of those at home, only mine's got a Hemi in it. His is a 440. I think that car is really what turned my mind about Mopars. Up here.
And who says a Mopar can't go off-road, huh? Not this.
This will make the purist cringe.
Thanks, Al, for taking the time to bring us your stunning e-body. Now that he's got this car running and driving perfectly, Al can enjoy driving it as often as possible. Because it's not a real numbers-matching Hemi 4-speed Cuda, he can drive it worry-free to anywhere and anytime he gets the irrepressible urge to unleash those well over 500 horses under the loud pedal of this drop-dead gorgeous Mopar. What do you guys think about Al's Cuda? And let us know in the comments. Next week, we're bringing you a phenomenal car from the recent Benedict Castle show. We brought you a 2-part series of this incomparable show recently. If you haven't seen them, we've linked them below. The car we're featuring next week belongs to a lady named Karen Ariano and her husband Gary, who presented one of the most gorgeous and well-executed 56 Chevy Nomads we've ever seen. Karen will tell us all about how this nifty Nomad came to be and how much she and live-in mechanic Gary enjoy driving it. It's a great story and again proves that a married couple can enjoy the car hobby together. You'll enjoy meeting the Arianos as much as we did. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and be careful out there.